Hello everyone, welcome to our fourth webinar as Papillon Defense. I'm your host, Yulet Tatlıcan, and I work as an executive assistant and project manager at Papillon Defense. As Papillon Defense, we are Turkey's first biometric technology manufacturer established in 2012. We are a company that went public in 2019. We started this journey as a startup initiative to develop biometric security, public security, criminal analysis, citizen and immigrant management technologies, and we offer many services by carrying out R&D and system development activities on subjects such as facial recognition systems and fingerprint in the security sector, baby footprint in the healthcare sector, and contactless passenger experiences in travel and transportation, as well as artificial intelligence and smart security and multimedia processing. So, Sardar Akmehmet is with us as our fourth guest in today's webinar. So let me introduce Mr. Sardar a little. He graduated from Işık University with an honor degree in computer engineering. He also did his internship in the technical support and R&D departments of different companies in the same field. And now he has been working as a solution architecture specialist at Papillon Defense for 3 years and is responsible for designing and creating technical solutions for the company. So today, we will talk about fingerprints with Mr. Sardar, and he will tell us about the fingerprints in 5 questions. Mr. Sardar, how are you?
Fine, great. How are you?
I am good, thank you. So today I have 5 questions for you, and let me start. First of all, how do you separate fingerprints? Is there a unique sign are you looking for?
To separate fingerprints, we use ridges and minutia points in fingerprints. Let me explain a little bit more about what they are. In fingerprints, I don't know if you ever color your finger when you are young, when you're a kid. If you remember, when you put your finger into the paper, there's some patterns in it. These patterns are called fingerprints, as we all know. But in biometric field, this patterns is called ridges. How we separate using these ridges? Let's do it together. If you look at your right hand, right fingers, you will see your fingerprints, and they are curved to the left a little. If you look at your left hand, the fingerprints in your hand are curved to the right a little bit more. So we use this, ridges. We use these patterns to separate the hands from one another. So if the fingerprints are curved to the left, we know it's a right hand, and if it's curved to the right, we know it's a left hand. And how we separate the fingerprints after we separate hand, just like the ridges, we have a minutia points and arch analysis and loop analysis for all these separations. Minutia points are where the ridges is cut. The ridges are continuously just everywhere in your finger, but in some points they just cut off. In these areas, in every finger, it still follows a pattern. So we use this minutia points, arch analysis. As I say, if you get your finger, there's a loop just like that. It's a loop like that. So we use that also to separate the fingerprints and one from another, actually.
Okay, so can you please tell me about the usage areas of fingerprint scanners?
The fingerprint scanners in today's technology, the usage of it's very extensive, actually. The fingerprint scanners, of course, they don't work alone. So you need identification solution with it to authenticate individuals. So wherever authentication is needed with a live fingerprint, this can be airports when you travel, the military facilities where you need access to it, borders when you want to control the immigrants. So you just use these fingerprints with these identification solutions And after that, you just put your finger to fingerprints, and the system automatically identifies who you are. And the main usage of this fingerprint and biometric technology, it's actually the law enforcement agencies. So if you ever had a passport, you know you have to give your fingerprints to it, and the fingerprints are collected in a national database. With these fingerprint scanners, we can easily identify you through the database. And specific fingerprint scans, actually you can use it in the turnstiles. You can even use it in the if you want stadiums, if you want to control everyone who is going to enter.
Okay, so could you please give us information about ABIS systems? What are they for, and where do we use it?
Well, ABIS systems are the ABIS stands for Automatic Biometric Identification Systems. What do we mean by that? These systems are sophisticated systems that designed to automatically identify individuals based on their biometric data. Which biometric data we can use with it? It's actually varies a lot. You can use the fingerprints, you can use palm prints, you can use face images, you can use iris images, footprints, even voice. Voice recognition is still kind of new, but voice recognition is still continuously developing, so you can use voice recognition too. And where do we use it? As I mentioned, ABIS system is widely used in law enforcement agencies for criminal identification and investigation. Let's say there's a crime committed and we have a crime scene. The forensic experts collect any biometric data that they can collect from it. The rolled fingerprints, the palm prints, anything. System automatically, as I mentioned, captures these fingerprints. We enter these fingerprints to the system, and if you are in the database, it takes, I don't know, 2 to 3 minutes to actually identify a person. Today, today, most of the countries in Europe, America, Asia, most of the countries never have these systems. Have either national databases or the criminal databases, which all under the automatic biometric identification system umbrella. A few countries without the ABIS are starting to use this technology also. So this is a growing field that the whole world is going to use one day.
Yeah. So, okay, could you please tell us about the differences between ink printing and digital printing? What are the advantages of digital printing, I'm wondering?
Okay, so let's start with what is ink printing and what is digital printing for the ones who don't know. Ink printing is capturing your fingerprints on the paper form. As I mentioned, you just color your finger and you just put it on the paper. In the biometric sector, we have a standard form for it. So you just put your finger through ink and you just slap your fingers to the paper. After you collect every fingerprint, every palm print, every available print of the citizen with the ink, then you just scan this ink printing and put it into the system. This is how we work on the ink printing. On the digital printing, we have specially developed fingerprint scanners, footprint scanners, and palm print scanners actually. Digital fingerprints, is captures with these. They capture these prints without any. Let me say just like this. The ink printing, you can just you can move your hand a little bit. So if you move your hand with the ink printing, all the stain, all the ink is going to be useless. You can use this ink to identify a person. On digital printing, you just collect every information digitally. So you just prevent any slipping of the fingers, if they put a little extra weight on it, the ink disappears in the ink printing. But on digital printing, these are not the issues. You can just take prints it any way you can. You can easily take it. And most of the fingerprint scanners on the market right now has a special actual algorithm to prevent this slipping. And how that's worked, let me explain a little bit more. When you start printing, it captures automatically automatically captures the image of your finger, and it continuously does this till you finish giving your prints. And in the meantime, it takes, let's say, 100 pictures for your finger. And after you complete it, the system automatically, compress all these images and merge all these images together, and it gives you a quality picture which you can easily do identification, authentication with it. And also in fingerprint scanners, you can take prints from dry or moist hands. In Africa, on Asia, there's some humidity in Asia, there's some heat in Africa. So these are these are some problems when you take your fingerprints with ink printing, because if the person has a moist hand, the ink is not going to give you a good image, or you can actually use it very well. So digital printing, digital capturing of the fingerprints are widely used. In some countries they're still using ink printing, but digital printing are the most safe model for capturing fingerprints actually.
So I'm wondering, are they using different kind of ink while, the ink printing and the ink printing?
Yes. It's a special stamp which used for fingerprint capture. If you ever, of course, you watch the CSIs of there's powder for it. People just powder it. You can just use that, but it's a little old school. So we just use a new kind of ink stamps to capture fingerprints without any mistakes actually.
And I also have another question, Sardar. For example, I'm a prisoner and I'm sweating too much. So we should use digital printing for this, right?
Yes. If you have wet hands, because most of the fingerprints, especially our fingerprints, actually, you can just put water in it, and we can still take the fingerprints very, very easily and very accurately.
Okay, this is very nice. So the fifth question is, what is the difference between one-to-one and one-to-end query?
Okay, so one-to-one searches are done with, let's say there's a crime. Let me just explain it with an example. Now, let's say there's a crime, and we capture the suspect. So we know the suspect's name, we know the suspect's last name, etc. We have her, I don't know, we have their demographic information with ourselves. So we just enter the demographic data, and we enter the biometric data, which comes to this point. We have his name. Let's go to me. His name is Sardar Mehmet, and this is his fingerprints. Is it correct? So we just search through the database. We find everyone named Sardar Mehmet, and we find everyone. And we control every fingerprints associated with the Sardar Mehmet. So we just search with the name and search with any additional data in one-to-one searches. In one-to-end searches, let's say we don't know anything. That's how we do one-to-end searches actually. We only have the biometric data. We don't know who they are. We don't know how we capture this image. We just have this image of the fingerprint. So when you just search to this fingerprint, the one-to-end search is done through the whole database, not just the segment of it. Every record in the database are searched with the one-to-end search types.
Okay. So thank you very much for the detailed information and detailed answers. Sardar, I'm seeing some questions on the comment section. So
yes.
If you want, we can, just skip to them.
We can just answer the questions.
Okay.
Let me just look at the questions again.
So if you want, I can read some of the questions of our audience.
Yes.
Okay. So Technomania says, can you discuss the role of artificial intelligence and machine learning in enhancing the accuracy and efficiency of fingerprint analysis?
Okay, how we use the learning of it, let me explain a little bit about that. In most of the system, just like our system, we do searches, but we also, in the meantime, we are educating our algorithm. So algorithm, as I said, there's a finger patterns in it. The fingerprints has patterns in it. So these patterns the more fingerprint we capture, the better average we can just create. So with the most with the many fingerprints as we can capture, we just learn. Our machine are starting to learn. If, as I mentioned, ridges, the curves. So the system also learns about the specific points of the fingers with it. And artificial intelligence are used when the experts, the fingerprint experts are using it. We use it for the skeleton analysis. We use it for some enhancement methods. We use artificial intelligence in that because, as I mentioned, in fingerprints, you can have you maybe have no fingerprints. There can be a cut in here. They can be just can be a little bit erased. So artificial intelligence knew this. Artificial knows how it should be look like, and it automatically fulfills the areas I'm missing. So that's how we actually use artificial intelligence and machine learning.
Okay, thank you. And Barish Ali says, what do you foresee as the future of fingerprint technology? Are there any emerging trends or potential applications that we should be excited about?
Well, as I said, the fingerprint technology is, it's biometric technology is still in the early phases. Actually, the fingerprint, the biometric fingerprint, the digital fingerprinting are still relatively new. So future is very bright right now. And one of the projects we did actually is capturing fingerprints with the phone camera. So let's say you're a police officer or you're a border control officer, anything like that. You see someone and you want to identify them. You just use your phone and you just take the picture of their fingerprints, and artificial intelligence and machine learning we also used in here to enhance the image, to remove the background of it. So we can just see the fingerprints which captured with the camera. So these applications will be very trending in the future because not everybody has to carry a large briefcase with them. So to make identification, you can just walk around the laptop. So these systems will be developed into a little applications which works on the phones, works on the tablets with the database installed in them. So the future is actually very bright for fingerprint, not just fingerprint. It's actually all biometric technologies will be used in the future extensively. As you may know, the Europe, the ICAO, they start to use only biometric. They start to use that. So when you enter some country, you have to give your biometric information. You have to give your iris. You have to give your eyes. So these databases are going to be very big. So they want to use it with the efficiency if they can.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. And Güneycan asks, does AI involve an advantage in this field?
Well, it's kind of like the same question, but AI mold, in the as I say, we start AI is used to help experts, so they can use the system a little bit easily. So we just fill the areas that are missing. So, but also in the most biometric systems, the accuracy is 99.999. So we give the final saying, the final approval to it to expert. So we try to help the expert in any way we can. This is how the system actually works with the AI.
Supporting the expert, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And Emre Taşçı asks, what kind of measures are being taken to address the security and misuse risks of biometric data as we enter a complex era of competition between fingerprint and facial recognition technologies?
Well, the security measures are, there's this, universal actual standard. GDPR is actually in Turkey, it's KVKK, as you all know. So GDPR is actually, it's actually force us to take some kind of measures. So we just we try to use the closed circuit systems with it, and we try to encrypt our biometric data, encrypt the citizens' biometric data, so it can't be used. Can't be used if there's some leak in it. So the biometric data we capture is only can be usable with our technology. That's one of the security measures we take. So if they get your file, they just can't read it. They can't use anything with it. The competition between the fingerprint and facial technologies, it's actually a little bit in the favor of the, to be perfectly honest, favoring the facial recognition technologies, because the fingerprints, the people are still a little bit concerned about giving their fingerprints, but the facial images, we just give them anywhere. So the facial technology database and facial technology is, databases and technologies are a little bit, moving forward faster, because in the COVID, as we all know, we have to work from home, we have to attend the classes from home, we have to, apply to the banks from home. So we try to, and you can't take fingerprints if they're not with you right now. So in facial recognition technologies is used in banks during COVID. So the facial recognition technology is rapidly expanding a little bit more than fingerprints.
Yeah, okay. And thank you, Sardar. Tankomania also commented that, so it seems that AI will be changing the course of the events in fingerprint studies as it will in other fields as well. Yeah. Yes,
well, thank you, Tankomania, for the comment. And yes, they are correct. Actually, the AI will change not just the course of event and fingerprint studies, it will change everything in everywhere, actually.
Yeah. By the way, I'm very sorry for wrong pronunciation, Tankomania, but thank you for the questions. So if our audience have no further questions, we will end our webinar here. Is there any question?
Well, let me just check here. No, actually, I think we answered every question.
Yeah, that's all for today. So thank you very much for the detailed information, Sardar, again, and thank you very much for listening and tuning with us. So see you on our next webinar. Thank you.
See you. Thank you.